Well, greetings, everyone. I'm Bette McCarthy, Chair of the Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. This meeting of the Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable Government Access Channel. And in accordance with the Massachusetts General Laws of Chapter 30A, Section 20, the chair must inquire if anybody else is recording the meeting, and if so, they need to make their presence known. So, all right, I guess that. So, to all persons deemed interested or affected by the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Act under Section 9 of Chapter 470, Acts of 1973, as amended, you're hereby notified that a hearing will be held tonight on the applications listed on the agenda for June 26th at 6:30 p.m. We'd like to remind all applicants and audience members that we are an elected volunteer committee following the guidelines of the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Act. Any applicant or any party who's aggrieved by any decision that this committee makes, they have a right to appeal the decision to the Old Kings Highway Regional Historic Commission. We ask that during this evening's proceedings, all cell phones be turned off and conversations other than those before the committee take place outside of this remote meeting. When an applicant is called, we ask that the applicant and all interested parties identify themselves. And lastly, as best practices for meetings that are held remotely, where we may not be able to visually identify who's speaking, we ask all committee members and participants to identify themselves before speaking or making any comments. Online audience members wishing to participate during the public comment section of the hearing can use the raised hand button to notify the chair. Dial-in audience members wishing to participate should, in the public comment, should press *9 on their phones to notify the chair. All participants will be muted and you must be recognized by the chair in order to participate. So our first order of business tonight is to call attendance. So we have George Jessup. Don't think George is available tonight. Leslie Wallace.
Here.
Ryan Caholen.
Here.
Wendy Schuck.
Here.
And Bette McCarthy. All right. So our first order of business is we have some continued applications to address before the other applications. So our first application is for Sarah and Matt LeMay of 56 Red Wing Lane, Barnstable, map 318, parcel 007, undeveloped land, to construct a new colonial style home with a carriage house on the vacant lot. So the first order of business we need to do is we need to open a public hearing for this application.
This is Wendy Schuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
All right, and a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace.
Aye.
Ryan Caholen.
Aye.
Wendy Schuck.
Aye.
And Bette McCarthy, aye. So now, would the applicant or their representative like to make the presentation about this project?
Well, my name is Josh Blakely. I'm a local builder, and I'm working with the clients, Matt and Sarah LeMay, to develop this property for them. We've submitted all the documents that pertain to, I believe, Old King Highway, and how would you like me to proceed?
If you could just talk to the project, what you're trying to build, where it's situated on the lot, a little bit about the elevations, overall design, characteristics, siding, things like that.
Sure. So we're building a expanded colonial with a farmer's porch about 50 feet from the Old Kings Highway. Starting with the windows, we're using a Marvin Elevate True Divided Light 6/1 white exterior. We have trim details attached to the slideshow, which is a basic style, something you see along Old Kings Highway. The shingles, we're going to use a composite shingle, the James Hardy. And for the roof, we're going to use the Da Vinci composite shingle, which is a mimic of a red cedar shake. As far as, I mean, doors, and the doors, true style doors, painted white. We have a main entry door, we have a side door. So side lights on the side door, on the main entry door, 6/6 door on the side entry. And so it's a shingled colonial, expanded. So I guess that's, what else do you want for information here? As far as colors go, going with a off-white Coventry gray white for the siding, the shingles. The Da Vinci shingles color is mountain, which is a weathered cedar look. All the trim will be white, and the front elevation, or the south elevation, is the elevation that's exposed to the road, which is that elevation there.
Can I just ask you one thing? I'm confused. Go up above, just before we get, that right there is what will be seen on 6A?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. All right, well, this is Bette McCarthy. This area of 6A, and although this house is on Red Wing, due to some conservation issues, the house is going to be very close to 6A and visible from 6A, particularly in the 6 months of the year where the vegetation is limited. The area has significant historic homes. There are a lot of Greek revivals. There are some homes that are actually plaqued. It's right near the old Barnstable Fairgrounds. And as I look at this design, I do not see historic characters that would make it fit in with the neighborhood. I have questions also that the curve of the garage doors. I've done a little research. I went in, did some background information on some of I have a field guide of American colonial homes, and it just, in my estimation, it just will not fit that well into the neighborhood as proposed. Are there other comments by committee members?
This is Ryan Caholen. I sort of echo based on what you said. Honestly, like one of the biggest eye catches of this not necessarily representing the historic integrity of that, particularly that part of 6A. Um, the overall proportion of the main structure with the roof lines the way it is, it sort of it towers over itself. You know, if that makes sense. I can appreciate the fact that the roofs are stepped, but um, it's basically doubling the height. It just I'm right there with Bet. I don't see this being appropriate for the area.
Yeah. Josh, what's the square footage, the total on that, the footprint that we're looking at?
It's 3,300 square feet for the main
3,300.
house.
Okay, does that include the garage there?
It includes the garage, but not the actual square footage of the garage, just the
Okay.
room, access room next to it. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, there are features of the house that I like. Like I do appreciate, the window trim is substantial. I think the corner boards are substantial that you mentioned, which is more in keeping with the historical properties. Like I like that, but I would agree the design from the front just doesn't really fit in with the area. I'm hoping that the architect maybe can go back and make some tweaks. I just don't think it gives enough of a nod to the very historic area that it's in. But maybe, hopefully there are things that, the homeowner and the architect can do, to change the design a little bit. But otherwise, I agree with Bet and with Ryan.
Okay.
Without going into particulars, I know there was mention of some environmental concerns or conservation issues with the rear portion of the property. I mean, typically out of the group, I'd say I'm probably one that's more likely, if it's not directly on 6A, to say that there's probably a way to make this work. The issues on the backside of the property that would allow you to move the house away from 6A, are they insurmountable, or are they more uh, pains?
At the moment, they're insurmountable, but we are working with an engineer to figure out, obviously they'll stake the property and do that kind of work, but we'll ideally we'd move it as far as we could, you know. Can I comment on any of those things that you guys mentioned already?
Sure.
Sure.
So as far as Ryan, as far as it like towering over itself, I think that what you're referring to, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that it appears that when you're looking at the front elevation, that there's a significant distance from the fascia line to the ridge line. So, as far as what we have there, you can see on that elevation is the pitches matching up on the extensions with the main roof. I believe we settled on a 10 pitch with that roof. One of the things that we did with this design is obviously walking up and down within about a mile in each direction, east and west on Old Kings Highway in that immediate area off of Red Wing Lane, is to sort of look at what kind of colonials are existing in the specific area, and aside from a flatter pitch, which is something that you guys are looking for, I think like a 7 pitch minimum, right?
Mhm.
So, I notice a lot of like some of the older colonials and federals that we see in the area, aside from say, a Greek revival or something, or Victorian, had a very low pitch versus, so, and lowering the pitch on the main roof. I'm not sure, maybe James can speak to this because we have the two connectors on either side of the main colonial, but, lowering that pitch, we'd want to obviously match that with the other ones as well. But I think that would lower that height, significantly. And then we're certainly, excited to work on this project and get it going. One of the things is to comply with what you guys are looking for, but, that was part of the design, was to sort of find, the perfect pitch that would satisfy the board. But is that, am I right in saying that when you say it towers over itself, that that's kind of what you're looking at? Or is that what you mean by that? Or,
Well, I think that's fair. I mean, honestly, if I was looking at this with if the structure looked more, with different portions married together over the years, I think that it could have a better look, and that could mean some variation in pitches based on parts of the structure. If you think back to, 1800s, the main house was built, the family expanded, and a uh, a leg got added to the house, and maybe the
exactly.
pitch
Yeah.
of that roof was a little different. I just feel like right now, with everything being so symmetrical as far as roofs, and you have, just in this view, between the house, the garage, the breezeway, the porch, everything is the same. And I think, like
No,
I said, if I had looked at this and you had some variation, I think it might make it a little more timely, if you will, a little more with that time period.
So ideally, you're looking for something that, we're trying to make it look like it's an expanded colonial. And what you're saying, it sounds like, is that, what we've done is made it too symmetrical for it to have been, added onto over the generations as the families moved on and expanded the house over the generations, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of examples of that generational expanded colonial along 6A where you could probably get some ideas from. But yeah, I mean that's again, that's my opinion. But I'd
Sure.
love to hear the other committee members' thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, and I struggled, with the windows a little bit. I mean, I think we're gonna have to do something different with the grills, in there, maybe the placement, the door. Maybe something there, I don't, it just like, if this was submitted for a different area, for a development, like over on Cedar Street, where there's no, I think this would be fine, but it's not, right? It's on the historic road, so I just think we have to give more of a nod to the area that it's in and adopt some more historic features in the house.
So Wendy, and like I said, a mile in either direction, you've got so many different beautiful old homes, and
Yep, yep.
so many of them have 2/1s, 4/1s, 6/1s, 6/6, 4/4s, 2/2s, 12/12s, 12/1s. What we ended up with the 6/1 is because it was an aesthetic that we found pleasing, for our project. And so I'm hearing what you're saying. So, if we were to tackle that and make a change, what direction would we make that change in your opinion?
Well, I mean, for me, oh, go ahead, Bet.
Oh, this is Bet. It's more than the windows.
Right.
It's the whole, it's the
Design.
whole,
Yeah,
whole design, that, I do not feel that it, really fits in this, location. Let's see, have we heard yet from, Leslie?
Yep. Okay. Compact. Maybe lower the roof lines, get rid of the garage doors. I don't think that goes with the rest of the house. Charming, lovely, but I don't think it goes with the rest of the house. Is there any way to make the little window? Yeah, that. A little longer or bigger. I think that kind of looks like it's in left field someplace. Although I can live with that. That I can live with. The windows, you want to get light in, and I I can understand that. The windows. I mean, you could do 6/2 or 4/1, or I don't know, the window, everything's just lovely, don't get me wrong, but everything's just a little bit off. And I think if that rounded part on the garage, I just, I'm getting thrown off by that. And it's really, I don't know, I have a colonial. It doesn't look colonial to me. The roof, maybe the 7-foot might be better, more compact. So everything gels better together. Hard to explain. Really, it's just kind of changing the facade.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world, but the pitch, the roof would be the thing that you may not like. But the other stuff, I don't think is all that big of a deal to change to make it, more 6A-ish.
Right.
Is that all right, Josh? Do you understand that?
Leslie, I think I understand, and I don't, there's a lot of opportunity here for us to make some decisions, and we haven't started building the house yet, so obviously there's room for some change here, obviously. I guess what I would need from you guys is like a little bit more direction on what you think. We got a 5-pitch on the porch, we got 10s on the main structures. So if we bring that ridge down, lower that pitch, bring it closer to a 7, like you said. We can talk to, James is on the call with us now, and he can talk a little bit to that as far as the design, how the structure's been
Yeah.
to this point. But, as far as windows go and stuff like that, I mean, the clients are certainly open to suggestions. As far as the roundovers on the arch top garage doors and stuff, I mean, if that carriage look is not, apropos, then what would be, what's a good alternative? Can we keep glass in the garage doors?
Yes.
Do they,
Just put them straight across, and you can put the little glass doohickeys on the top. I mean, there's tons of, if you look at garage doors.
yeah.
I mean, you can even leave some of this detail, but make it square. I think it's the round that has
Right.
thrown me off, and the door isn't round.
Yeah.
That entry door at the end there. Something that goes with that entry door at the, yes. And I'll tell you, I think it would look nice and just have the glass up above and, simple.
Yeah. And one thing I did, after I looked at the materials is, I went down 6A, I was trying to look at some big old colonials down there, and you try to compare and contrast, like, what that looks like, and, what changes could maybe be made to this design, just to get it. It's a new house, right? Well, I get that, we can't make it an old house. It is a new house, but somehow to fit in. And so maybe, do the same, go down 6A, look at some of the big colonials, like the Barnstable house. That's a huge colonial. It's big, because this is a big house too, and what is it that is there that maybe could be incorporated, some of the features to help give this a little bit more of a nod to the historic area that it's in.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the Barnstable house has 12/12s, a clapboard facade, no gutters, probably a 5-pitch, couple of dormers, above portico entry.
Yeah.
8-panel door, but so we've done, we've added flying rakes. We're trying to bring the rake detail out so that it matches something exactly like you have at the Barnstable house.
Right.
Or
Yeah, that
closer
part
to,
is nice. I would agree that you've done a nice job there. I agree with that. Yep.
if you go across the street from the Barnstable house and you go to the historic district, the house that, you know, your guy's house, I don't know whose house it is, but you know, the one that's,
Yep,
across from the
Yep.
library.
yep, the Historic
Um,
Society, yep.
So again, you have just a really low pitch roof, which I think that is kind of, you know, aside from going Greek revival, that's kind of what, you know, was one of the struggles for us when doing the design, was to come up with, you know, where does that sweet spot lie with you, with, you know, the board, you know, as far as a roof pitch goes. So
Yeah.
the, you know, the Historic Society's house is what, 6/6s. Yeah, there's a
Right.
lot of, I've been looking at a lot of the colonials, the bigger ones, obviously, because a lot of the smaller ones are 2/3 colonial, and
Right,
you
right.
know, but they have these huge, you know, add-ons, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just wondering about that. And then obviously many of them have dormers.
Yep.
Shed
And,
dormers, dog dormers, Nantucket dormers, there's all kinds of dormers.
And
Shutters, no
this
shutters.
is Beth McCarthy. Maybe shutters would,
Yes, right, help.
I
Yeah.
think that would add quite a bit.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of plain
Open
space
space, yeah.
in between the windows, and the
Yeah.
shutters would
Yeah.
soften that. So
I agree that that's a nice detail for sure. But that, you know, a shutter cost to a job like this is, you know, significant. You know, those things are, you know, a lot of money. I'm certainly willing to propose that to the clients and ask them what they think about the shutter idea. You know, if that's something that would appease the board in a way that would make it more, you know, appealing to you, or more appropriate for the area, if you will, right? Again, windows or window sizes, if the window sizes increase slightly, would that make a difference and close up some of that open space? I noticed that it's about, you know, 50/50 on Old Kings Highway as far as shutters and no shutters, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I get where you're going with that.
Yeah.
I don't hate the
So-
bigger window idea, to be honest. I think that might be pretty helpful.
So before we check to see if there are any public, would you like to continue this for the next meeting and to come back with us with a little more historic look design?
Yeah, absolutely. Unless you just want to approve it as it is now, Bet. Just kidding. Yeah. Yeah, no, of course we're gonna, you know, come back with some design ideas. You know, we were hoping, you know, a couple of weeks ago to go through this process, but you know, we weren't able to
Yeah,
get the meeting together. But you know, we're prepared to make some changes. But you know, this is a design that was driven by, you know, 2 miles in either direction, just walking up and down 6A, looking at it, there's just such a beautiful variety of homes on 6A. So, you know, we took some features from each home and, you know, assembled this, and this is what we kind of came up with. And, you know, it's not your purview, but, you know, what's built inside and the layout is what I think is a beautiful home. And, you know, so that does in part drive,
Yeah.
you know, what you're seeing on the exterior, obviously. But yeah, we're prepared to make some changes, but I would certainly want a little bit, like, you know, if there's something very specific that you're talking about, I'd like to write it down, because I don't want to keep coming back to you. And, you know, if you definitely have some specifics like the roof pitch, or something maybe more specific with the windows. I hear what you're saying about shutters. We'll consider that as a possibility for sure. I guess.
Well, why don't you
talking to the
work,
customer about the garage doors, and I think those
Yeah.
were the main
yeah,
concerns you had, right?
why don't you work on the pitch? Maybe see if there's something, you may even like it better, who knows? And the garage doors, and Wendy had mentioned windows. I don't know about the windows. I mean, this doesn't bother me, but as much as the garage doors, but Also, the pillars in the front, this is one of my pet peeves.
Okay.
Are they skinny? Hard for me to tell. I don't like them too skinny. I think they,
No, they're wrapped,
House
they're,
is-
they're wrapped posts, they're 10-inch, so they're,
oh, okay,
which
okay.
makes them 9-inch
Yep,
basically.
yep, okay. All right. Well, I think if you just look into the pitch, the garage, isn't that really the only thing, Bet?
Well, it's awkward. We're really not supposed to redesign it, but we can make some suggestions
Yeah.
for you. I think
But, one
that-
suggestion is, Josh, you mentioned, we might mention the Barnstable House and then the Barnstable Historic Society. So those are two beautiful properties, but for very different periods, right? One is really old,
Right.
the Barnstable House. The other one is
100 years
probably
different, yeah.
mid-1800s, right? So I think, going down and deciding which one it is that you like, right? Like pick one and then just try to look at it and study it. And, what is it about that house that you like, and try to incorporate. You don't have to replicate it, but what is it that maybe can be incorporated here to give it a little bit more of that flair? Because I think when you go down 6A and you look at a new build, ideally in my mind, it's great if someone says, is that a new house or an old house? I can't really tell.
Yeah.
Right.
This is like, that's a new house. That is a brand spanking new house with a modern design. There's just no
Right.
question about it.
yeah,
And I think it just needs to have, we can't tell you what to do and design it for you,
Right.
but it needs to blend in better with, and pick a, what period you've got. Like you said, there's a lot of different period homes there. Pick one that you like and then try to incorporate, some of those features. That would be my recommendation. I don't know, the others think differently.
yeah.
There's the Crocker House too, very old and haunted. Oh, I love that. And that's very close to the road, but that's been there. I think George Washington had a drink there, so it's old. And that would be something good. It's a beautiful, beautiful house, haunted or not.
And just maybe 18 months ago or so, we approved a new house. I think it's in the Comaquid area on the Bay side. And
For Reese
it's
Builders?
just maybe just before
Kevin.
the road that goes down to the Audubon. It's just before that.
Oh, Harbor Point
No, Kevin is what,
near Kevanee. Yeah.
yeah.
It's before, yeah. It's
Coming,
before
yeah,
Kevanee.
coming
It's a
from
little further-
Barnstable. It's just the couple
Yeah.
streets after that, yeah,
Yeah,
They did a nice job on that one.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Something along those lines. It blends in beautifully into the neighborhood and with the historic. So, all right. So in that case, then we need to have a motion to close the public hearing.
Point of order, Bet. We
Yeah.
still do need to ask for public comment, even if it is going to be continued. And
Oh,
then we
all
don't
right.
close public comment, so we will keep the public
right.
hearing open.
Okay. All right. So should we display that public comment right now or wait until?
Yep. Does anybody in the public wish to make any comments to this application? I don't know how to pronounce your name on there, but Jafydres. Reese, right? Right?
Yeah.
You're muted.
You're
You're
muted.
gonna have to unmute.
Okay, I think can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I understand. I agree with you about the house that's towards Comaquid. That is a beautiful build. That's just because now you drive by and you don't realize it's only been there for a couple of years. My concern is that although you have to take in Old Kings Highway as a whole, so much of this is what is between Red Wing and Commerce. And I know that I think Mr. Blakey mentioned that the square footage was 3380.
Can you
Is-
speak up a
what is
little
the
bit?
carriage?
It's hard,
Sorry.
it's hard, very hard to hear. Yeah, sorry.
Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me?
Mm,
Okay.
a little bit,
So,
yeah.
okay. So, is the carriage house the garage, or is the carriage house something else?
I think that's separate. Isn't that a separate structure, Josh? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Right, yeah.
So, where is that?
It's in the revised plan, I think, isn't it?
Take a look at the site plan.
Yeah.
It's shaded.
Ah, there, yeah.
Okay. So, okay. Well, okay. My concern, to be honest, is this: there are 9 properties between Red Wing and Commerce, 5 on the north, 4 on the south. There are 4 properties that range between 2,000 and under 3,000 square feet. And there are 4 houses that range between 1,100 square feet and 1,900 square feet. This house looks enormous compared with the other 9 houses. That's my concern. It just seems to me too big.
Mhm.
It would be like taking the Barnstable Historical Society house and putting it on the corner of Red Wing and 6A, which I know is is authentic. But if you look at the houses from that stretch from Red Wing down to Commerce, there's no house that's anywhere near that size, other than the house opposite Commerce on the south in the dip. That's the biggest house at 2,900. But all the other houses are like 2,300, 2,200, 19, 11, 19, 12, 16. It just, and I'm not counting the carriage house. I know that's a separate building, but the main house is far larger than any house that's in that stretch of road, and that's my concern. And I just want to ask one question, and that is, when the packet came through, there were photographs of 2 houses. One was the Tom and Mary Beth Mackenzie, who live to the east of this house, and the other one was the Turo's house. They just bought it a couple of months back. That house there, which is about 50 yards down the road. However, our house is directly opposite this new house. So why wasn't a photograph taken of that house rather than one that's about 50 yards down the road? And I get a sense it's because the house down the road looks more like this house than ours does, but nonetheless, we are part of that little stretch of Red Wing and Commerce, and so that's the Turo's house. So Lorraine Fraser passed away last year, and someone's just bought that now. But I mean, that's at least 50 yards down the road.
Yeah.
And I know it does look more like it fits more what this proposal looks like. But that's not between Red Wing and Commerce, and we're the house that's directly opposite this house. So yeah, so my concern is the size. It's going to dwarf every other house in that stretch.
Fair point. It is big.
So is there any opportunity for comment, or am I done commenting?
You can go ahead and comment.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I appreciate what this gentleman's saying. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, sir. However,
Reeves.
You go just beyond Commerce and go up, 300 yards, and you're back to houses that are this size or greater. Obviously, if you go towards the lights in the village, you have a number of structures there that are much larger, all the way down to the lights. So it's not necessarily completely out of place. In that small window of space, I agree, it would be the largest home in that immediate area. But I mean, not just shortly beyond Commerce, and obviously right next to Red Wing is the old fairground. That structure's huge. The Mad Duck, there's a number of buildings in this immediate area that are of that size or bigger. So we're trying to keep that in mind and respect what you have to say regarding that. I mean, certainly. I just wanted to mention that.
No, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm not disputing that there are many houses that are, that are this kind of size. I'm literally talking about this group of 9 houses between Red Wing and Commerce, and it dwarfs that group of houses. And even if they're houses that are as big, if not bigger, 300 yards down the road, for our little patch between Red Wing and Commerce, that's irrelevant, really, in my opinion.
And as far as the images that were taken, there was no malfeasance there. There was just, immediate area. So I apologize for not taking a photograph of your house and submitting it. So,
okay.
Apologies.
I'm sure there's.
It looks like this is Erica Brown. It looks like Thomas also has his hand raised and would like to make a comment. Thomas, if you want to unmute yourself. Thomas? I don't know if Thomas is having an issue unmuting himself. But it also looks like Wesley Marsh would like to make a comment. So Wesley, if you would like to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Wellesley, and we live directly across the road. And is there a reason why we have not covered the carriage house at all this evening?
I think we just are still working on the house, which isn't to say that there wouldn't be comments on the carriage house.
Okay. I absolutely mirror many of the sentiments from the board tonight regarding the size and the lack of details that would help it to align with this area, this historic area of 6A. The property that was mentioned over in Comaquid was one of the best I have ever seen for a new build to already look like it's well over 100 years old because of the care that was put into the detailing. The wooden shutters, the molding, the roof line, the siding, the color schemes, the landscaping, the every little detail, even to the garage on the right, every little detail. It's almost as if they took a 200-year-old house and they dropped it in place, and it just seems so considered for the historic area, the nature of the area of 6A. So with this design, I believe that it has potential to get there, but it seems like there's quite a bit that can be added or changed so that it fits into our area a little bit better. As far as like the wooden shutters or the molding or the window change or even the columns in the front. I know it was mentioned there are 9 or 10 inches, but like one of the board members mentioned, it seems like everything is just the same. There's nothing that stands out as an interesting detail. And maybe that might help it along. And so the same would, because I haven't really seen the carriage house, I don't know if when changes are made to, if they're made to the main property, if the same kind of changes would also be for the carriage house as well. Again, the square footage, it is really large for the footprint it's setting on, not the lot, because most of it's, the wetland, but for the size of where it's going to be sitting on the lot, it just seems like it's dwarfing that lot. And it's almost like every little square inch is being maximized for where it's going to be on the property. So maybe that's why it seems so jarring and really large, and, you know, kind of looming over the rest of the houses in the neighborhood. So, you know, and even down to the color scheme and the roofing material and the color and things like that, you know, and the landscaping and where things are going to be. I know that's not under your purview, but just a bit more detail, so that we'd have a better idea as to, you know, maybe getting into a more historic feel for this stretch. But I would love to at least hear or see more on the carriage house as well as a full package.
Thank you.
Thank
let me
you.
see.
Is there anybody else, Erica?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. It looks like
Oh, I think Thomas is
Thomas,
is
yeah,
back.
they raised
Yeah.
their hand again, so go ahead. Do you want to unmute yourself?
Hi, this is Mary Beth McKenzie. I live at 3576 Main Street. And we don't know if this is under your purview, but on the landscape plan, this is our main concern, is under the landscape plan. It doesn't show the ancient stone wall that's on our property line. And we're concerned with the integrity of it, and that you show that you've cleared all the way up to the property line. And there's 6 large maples, and we don't know, do you plan on keeping them or taking them down? And how are you gonna make sure the integrity of the ancient stone wall stays intact? Because that's our main concern about the property.
Free to comment?
Yeah.
Josh Blakely here. Yeah, that basically we're doing a minimal impact on that. Conservation is a huge portion of what's going on with this project, and that's kind of what isolates the structure to this space. There's nothing on this site plan that is going to affect that wall. If anything, it would just be, you know, some of the tree growth removed from it, you know, and stuff like that. So the stone wall is staying 100%. 6 maples that are there that are present. I'm not sure if.
So I think you're looking at, so that the wall is not shown. It runs between our properties. It's not shown on the plan. And you have lawn going right up to the property line on the right-hand side. And you have 4 arborvitaes, and that's where the maples are in the wall. And that's what we're worried about. We're also worried about the overdig for the septic.
Yeah.
That's within 15 feet, and you're going 20 feet down because of the overdig.
Yeah.
And what see, that he didn't put it on the plan, and when the engineer redesigned it the second time for the variance, he did include it on that plan, but it's not included on this plan. So we just want to make sure that you guys, or, you know, that it's thought about, and that the integrity stays intact. And there's 6 giant maples along our property line. Gotcha. And they're really close. So if you take them down, that might disturb the wall. That's what we're really.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking along the 6A route. And
well, no, he did. Dan Olgela did put it in along the front, but he didn't put it in along our property line, and it's on our property line. So that's what we're worried about.
So we have a setback that we have to, you know, honor, and we're not going to exceed that. So
okay,
rest assured.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your comments. All right. And we'll have a chance to address all these issues when they come back with another proposal. So.
Should we look at the carriage house though now, in case we have to make corrections? Because somebody was upset about it and wanted to know about it, so. Yeah, there it is. Why don't we just talk about this too while we've got it up?
All right. Leslie, what are your comments regarding carriage house?
Well, it's, how big is this?
1,300 square feet,
Mhm,
including the garage space.
yeah. What in proportion, okay, so you're going up Red Wing and you're coming in from Red Wing, and that's where the carriage house is. Yep, there it is. What will be seen on 6A?
Which elevation you mean, Leslie?
Yeah,
That we
yeah,
see
I'm
here?
sorry,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Yep.
no, it's okay.
So I'm looking at the elevations now to try to get you a sense of which one you can look at.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, you're looking at page. James, a little help here. Which elevation am I pointing to? What page?
So I would think the garage
I
doors
think
would
it's
be,
opposite of the garage door. I'm just trying to figure out what.
yeah, those garage doors must be facing the
I think
driveway,
it's
right?
that one.
A3, 8.3.
It's that one.
But it's as it sits now, it's at an angle. It's not, you know,
Yeah,
parallel to the
like
road.
kitty corner. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's this one right here we're looking at.
Yeah,
So that's what you see from 6A.
and then
Then the
you
other
also
side,
see the dormered side as well. Yeah,
yeah. And the other side that you look at coming in to your house is the one with the garage door and all.
yeah. So the driveway is shared between both garage doors,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That one. Okay, so that's what you see coming in. And
Yeah.
from 6A is the one before it, right? That one. Okay.
No.
What is that sheet with? What's the
What
siding?
Ryan, what do you think about the carriage house?
I think I probably have the same comments I had on the main structure as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
me too.
there's
Right.
just, I mean, it's just a big blank slate with a couple of roof lines. You know, it is not appropriate for the area.
Well, if he could
Again,
change the
the
garage
doors
door.
with the
Okay.
curved is
Yeah,
inappropriate
yeah.
for the historic section,
yeah.
as we discussed in the doors for the main house.
Well,
Yeah.
they could,
Also, what faces 6A is, that's not particularly attractive for a historic property to have that be visible from 6A. That's
Yeah. You know, I want to
Totally.
make one comment on the carriage doors. So I owned a historic property, actually the one at the end of Commerce, and we have a carriage house and it has curved doors on it, old curved doors on it.
okay.
No, they weren't original to the house. I think they were purchased. We didn't put them in, you know, the prior owner did, but they put them in and it looked very nice. So I don't really object to the curved doors, but I think it's got to fit in with the rest of the house. It almost feels like an afterthought, you know,
Yeah.
if there was some other, like, I think you mentioned the Crocker house, just by way of example. I think their main door has like a curved, what do you call it, on top of it? Cornice, I don't know what you call it, on the front door. It's got some curves, so if you had a curved door, you know, maybe that would work. So I'm not really opposed to the curved door, but I do think that, you know, whatever changes are made to the house to make it look more historic looking have to be incorporated into the, you know, this carriage house as well. They've got to blend together. I don't think this is particularly historic looking as it stands, but I think it's got potential, and with some tweaks and adjustments, you know, I'm hoping that we can make that work.
Yeah, I feel like I hear what your comments are and the comments from the public, and I understand what you're, basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk to the clients about this and see what they have to say. Comment on the carriage house is that it is scaled down proportionally to the main structure, so it is to give some continuity to size. So it is, lower roof line, things like that to try to make it a cohesive,
Yep.
part of the property. It's not gonna, the design is basically the same as the main structure, as far as all trim details and window, colors, everything, so it's meant to mimic those aspects in the main house as well, just for clarity on that.
Yep.
So whatever changes or, that we're able to consider, that will be reflected in the carriage house as well.
Okay,
Great.
all right. Thank you, Josh. Why don't we have a motion to continue this application?
Point of order, but real quick.
Yeah,
Leslie, you raised your hand again? Did you have another
I'm
comment?
sorry.
Thank you so much. I just have a really quick question. What is the total living area of, what's the total square foot of living area on this property? Because it wasn't on the application.
So it's less than 5,000 square feet. It's 13. It is about 4,000,
600.
something close to that. Yeah,
Thank you.
including the carriage house. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you said one's 33 and one's 13, something like that.
Correct.
Just before we close this out and get a motion to continue, is there anyone else from the public that wishes to make a comment? Okay, hearing none, Bet you can proceed with asking for a motion.
All right. May we have a motion to continue this application to our next meeting, which would be on July
10th, right? I think.
July 10th.
Yeah. Yes. Happy to. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to continue the certificate of appropriateness application for Matt and Sarah LeMay, 56 Red Wing Lane, Barnstable, map 318, parcel 007, undeveloped land, for the meeting to be held on July 10th, 2024 at 6:30, and the meeting will be held remotely.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy. Aye. So we will address the new plans at our next meeting. All right. Thank you very much. Good luck at the drawing board. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Josh.
Yep. Good night.
All right. Our next continued application is for Victoria and Andre Ciobinianu, 98 Rue Michelle, Barnstable, map 335, parcel 029/001, undeveloped land to construct a new 4-bedroom home. We need to open a public hearing for this application.
Okay. Question for Erica. Do we need to open the public meeting for a continued application? We do?
Because we didn't open it at the last one, we just continued the
didn't.
meeting.
We
Oh,
didn't have
gotcha.
one
Okay.
before.
So you still
Okay.
need to open it.
Okay, gotcha. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy. Aye. Is the applicant or their representative available to discuss their project?
Hi, Victoria Trabano here.
Okay, Victoria.
Okay, yeah, we're just here. We submitted our paperwork just to construct a new 4-bedroom home. All the details are there. I'm not sure what information you need now. So it's clapboard for in the front and then shingles on the siding. The picture there does not show the windows with the grill patterns. The grill patterns are traditional 6/6, so it's not showing that in the pictures. But I believe the doors and the garage doors are as they would be.
Can you say a little bit more about the materials? Because I don't think there was anything in the application about the materials. Like, did you say clapboards on the front or shingles?
Yes, clapboards on the front and then shingles on the side and the back.
Okay. And what color?
I believe the name of it is sandstone.
Okay. Like a beige sort of?
Yeah, it's a very light beige.
Weathered.
Yeah.
Weathered, right. And are they natural shingles on the side or would they be stained as well?
They would be natural.
Natural, okay. And on the roof?
On the roof, it is. It says moire black asphalt.
Mel.
And what's the square footage of the house?
About 5,000.
Oh, it's big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there's a barn on the property. Are you leaving that there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've asked my questions if anybody else wants to chime in.
Yeah.
That road the houses are big on it.
Big, they are. Yeah.
Yes, our neighboring property, I think, is 10,000 square feet.
Yeah.
10,000, really? Wow.
I think so, yes.
Wow.
This is Beth. May I see the configuration of the home on the property, how it's set? Okay.
Oh, you're by the cul-de-sac. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
How big is that property, acreage wise?
I believe it's just shy of an acre.
Okay. It's a pretty good size parcel.
Now, when you're looking at this right here, if you look to the left, and it's 6, is that 6 at the bottom? Yes, those ones. No, the bottom. Is that 6/1?
For the grill pattern?
Yeah, is that a door or a?
Those are garage doors.
Yeah.
Garage doors, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think they're
see.
4/4
now.
maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. It's
Yeah.
confusing. All right. And that will go, then you're having 6/6 all the rest of the house.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Beth. Is the window framing black? It appears in this
It
view
is.
that it will be black.
Yes, and there is a neighboring house that's also has black trim and window trim.
And your roof's black.
Yes.
Is it an architectural or just?
What do you, yeah, it's architectural. Yeah, architectural.
Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
That's good. Yeah.
And do we have a landscape plan
We do not have a landscape plan yet.
Okay. So you will resubmit that later?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, here, yeah, let's look at this one. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Is there a plot plan with the house on it? Because the elevations are, there's angles on it that are kind of hard to see, with the garage, it's kind of at an angle.
Yeah, right
There we
there.
go. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Erica, for that. Okay. Ryan, did you have any comments or thoughts or?
No?
I mean, not really. It's a massive house, but it blends with the neighborhood. It's set back significantly from Route 6A. I mean, like I said, I typically don't have any exception if the house is not directly on or visible. So I think, given the area, I think it's appropriate.
Okay. Do the committee have any more comments on it? We can check to see if there are any
They'll come back with a landscape, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That would
No,
be great.
no, I have no problem.
Yep.
All right. Is there anybody in the public wishing to make comments?
This is Erica Brown. I do not see anyone wishing to speak to this item at this time.
All right. So then we need to close the public hearing.
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
All right. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So now we need a motion.
Yep.
Regarding the application.
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application from Andrea and Victoria Chibino, 98 Rue Michelle, Barnstable, map 335, parcel 029/001, undeveloped land, as submitted.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Very good. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Victoria.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Our next application is for Jennifer Parkus and James Ellis, 417 Church Street, Barnstable, map 176, parcel 005, built in 1941, to construct a new two-car garage and a mudroom addition. So we need to open a public hearing on this application.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So is the applicant or their representative available to discuss?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Steve Cook from Katuah Bay Design. I'm the project designer representing Jim Parkus and Jim Ellis. So this project was approved by the previous commission back 2 years ago, and they never constructed it for one reason or another, but now we're back. So it's basically the same design, a little bit deeper footprint on the main garage, and then there's a storage area with a roof deck which got added on the rear. I think from the previous version, the windows on either side of the entry door were changed, but pretty much it's very similar to what was approved 2 years ago. All siding, trim, roof, windows going to match the existing house.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward project. I think previously we were looking at the depth I think right now we're proposing 34 feet deep. I think it was 32 feet deep before, so it's a couple feet deeper.
Okay.
And
And when you say deeper, Steve, do you mean like if we're looking at the garage doors, like back from there? Is that what you mean?
yeah, if you look at the
Okay.
if you look at the left elevation,
Yeah.
so the left elevation has a dimension there, so it's
Oh,
deeper that
okay.
way, deeper from front to back.
Okay, gotcha.
The width is still the same width.
Okay. And
From
where's
the
that
street.
storage area? Where's
It's in the
that?
rear. If you look on the left elevation, you can
Yeah.
see it on the rear, and then if you go to the rear elevation, you see two doors with a roof deck, and
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I remember this from before.
Yeah, I remember this
Yeah.
too. It isn't
Yes.
yeah.
much different.
All right. Ryan?
No, I recall it from before. Every time I drive by, I always look over, hoping to see something. So I'll try to look again. No comments. I think it's appropriate still.
All right.
Great.
Any other comments by the committee?
Looks good to me.
Me too.
Okay.
All right. I have
Eric-
one quick question for the commission. If I decide to change like a door on the rear or a window, do I have to come back to you guys or just go ahead and make the minor change?
It would be
Say
a
it's
minor
on the
modification
road.
application, so it'd
So-
have to come and be approved by the committee.
Okay.
But you would not necessarily need to be present to present it, and it does not need abutters to be notified or anything
Okay.
like that.
All right. So yeah, I might tweak a door on the rear or something like that. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
All right. Are there any members of the public wishing to comment on this?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I do not see anyone wishing to speak to this item at this time.
All right. So then we need to close the public hearing portion.
Yes, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Brian Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy. Aye. So now we need a motion to approve this application.
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for James Ellis and Jennifer Parkus, 417 Church Street, Barnstable, map 176, parcel 005, built 1941, as submitted.
Brian Caholen, I'll second.
All right. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy. Aye. So this project is all set to go. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Everybody have a
Thank
good
you.
evening. Take care.
All right. Good night. Our next application is for Lori Barcelou and Philip Korinsky. And this would be for 61 Harbor View Road, Barnstable, map 319, parcel 047, and built in 1954 to demo the existing detached garage to construct a new attached garage with a mudroom, den, bedroom, and bathroom addition. So we need to open a public hearing for this application.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Brian Caholen, I'll second.
All right, a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan
Aye.
Caholen, Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy. Aye. So is the applicant available to discuss their project?
I see Philip here. It looks like they might be frozen.
Wendy,
Phil, you're
I
muted.
mean, Eric, are they available?
Yeah, Phil, you're muted. I would just need you to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm
There
here.
we
Can you hear me?
Yep, now we can. Yep.
Okay. So this is That's a picture of the existing house. Crafted Construction is the contractor for this.
Bill, can you speak up a little bit? You're hard to hear.
Yeah, sure.
Thank
Crafted
you.
Construction is my contractor. I was expecting them to be on call. But I can talk you through it. I'm not the contractor, I'm the owner.
Is that the garage on the left you want to demolish?
Yeah, that's the garage on the left.
Okay.
That would come down. And the addition, that's the back of the existing garage there now.
Okay.
Okay, and so everything on the right half of the screen, the two-story house, is as is. The left half of the screen is the addition. So there's a connection between the now attached one-car garage. And over the one-car garage is a one-bedroom addition. It's not going to be finished within the scope of this project, but it's there for the future. And then in the middle there is the is the connector, which contains a mudroom and a family room in between the existing house and the garage.
Now, this is what you'd see from the street.
Yes,
So you're
correct.
gonna, demo the present garage, put the mudroom in, another garage. So this is what you're gonna see. And the
Correct.
end is already there. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And all the materials will match the existing house, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, and for the garage door, I think your garage door has some lights in them today. Will your new garage door have some lights in them as well?
Yeah, up above, I think those are lights.
Yeah, I can't really tell.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
Yeah. I couldn't hear the response. Was that yes or?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a little faint. You're fading out. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I'm on
then
my laptop.
I understand. I have the same problem with my laptop. And then one other question. So the new door, the new small door, like in your mudroom.
Yep.
Isn't the same as the mudroom that's way over, it's the same as the door way over to the right?
Yeah.
Will you make those consistent? It might help pull
Sure,
it out
yeah.
together.
They should be the same size.
Yeah. Are they the same style? The same style?
Yeah. They're the same style.
6.
I'm sorry, you faded out a little bit again.
Sorry, yes, I believe they
Yeah.
are the same style. If not, we can make them the same style.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just think it would
Yeah.
just make it aesthetically a little bit
Yeah.
more pleasing. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yep.
All right.
Now, there's a deck off the back.
Correct.
Okay, all right. That's the back.
Right.
Right. So there's an existing deck off the back, and then there'll be a sort of a smaller deck off the back of the garage.
All right.
Okay. All right. Any other comments committee wise? No, I think when I was at the property, I thought this addition would blend in very well with the existing home. So and blend in well with the neighborhood. So
Agree.
what about public comments? Is there anybody in the public wishing to discuss it?
Beth, this is Erica Brown. I don't see anyone wishing to speak to this item at this time.
All right. So in that case, we can close the public hearing.
Yes, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Brian Cahola, I'll second.
And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So now we need a motion to approve the demo of the I
Garage.
have
The existing garage.
Erica, I have a question. Does this have to have two motions, one for the demo and the second for the construction?
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So we need a motion to approve the demolition.
Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the application for demolition for Philip Kurinsky and Lori Barcelo, 61 Harborview Road, Barnstable, map 319, parcel 047, built 1954. And I will note the demolition is for the garage only, as submitted.
All right. Second.
Ryan, I'll second.
Thank you, Ryan. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Beth McCarthy, aye. Now we need a motion for the new garage.
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Philip Kurinsky and Lori Barcelo, 61 Harborview Road, Barnstable, map 319, parcel 047, built 1954 with one modification to make the front entry doors the same style, otherwise as submitted.
Ryan,
All
go hold
right.
on.
Thank you, Ryan. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So we have approved both the demo and the new construction on that property. Thank you.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
We have a minor modification for Patricia Sinakis on 18 Kevaney Lane, Barnstable, map 351, parcel 028, and built in 1966 to add two over two windows. These windows would match the 2/2 windows on the plan, the original COA approved January 24th, 2024.
You know, my only question is, I didn't understand where the two windows were going. Like, I get this one, but the other one looks like it's going on the chimney. Like, I didn't understand that. Where's it going?
So it's going to be blocked a little bit by the chimney. That's why she kind of drew it that way, so you could see it. But on that side elevation, the chimney is actually away from that. She just wanted to add two windows to get some light in that hallway.
Okay, I got you. All right, so that chimney is part of, okay, I got it. I was thinking the chimney was, affixed to that part of the house.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Thank you for that.
No problem.
All right.
That was a great catch though, Wendy.
You what? What was that, Ryan?
It must be a beautiful chimney.
I know, right?
All right. Any other comments from the committee?
Oh, I'm fine with it.
All right. So then we need a motion to approve this minor modification.
Sure, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the minor modification application for Patricia Chesnoskis, 18 Kevaney Lane, Barnstable, map 351, parcel 028, built 1966 as submitted.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Beth McCarthy, aye. So we don't have any extensions. We don't have any other. And it says to discuss the open meeting law. I I think we should postpone that to our next meeting. And
Can I just verify that everyone received Attorney James Wilson's email?
Yeah.
That's really why I added it. I wanted to make sure everyone received his email and saw that and got the
Yeah.
workshop email.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay,
No.
Leslie, I'll forward that to you.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes it goes in, but if it's been in there, I can't go far enough back. So would
Okay.
you send it to me? Because I've been waiting for this.
Yep.
And there seemed to be, remember I asked you about it like 6 months ago or something, but
Yeah.
but I
I
need
will
to,
forward it to you, Leslie,
Yeah,
and I will do
okay.
that tomorrow morning. So if you don't
All right.
receive it, let me know on Friday that you haven't received it, and I'll
Okay.
try again, okay?
Okay, darling, thank you.
That
No problem.
workshop is super helpful. I watched it. I thought it was great. Really helpful, I thought.
Good. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll postpone the rest of the conversation for later after
Yep.
everyone's reviewed the materials.
Yep.
And if anyone has any questions, we can go from there.
Our next
Okay.
meeting. Very
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
All right. We need now to approve the minutes. May 8th, 2024.
She want to see if there's no changes from anybody or?
The only
me.
thing I noticed, I think you were away on May
Yes.
8th,
Yeah.
and Ryan was appointed the clerk. That
Oh, that's right.
wasn't, I didn't see that in the minutes.
Okay, I can add that in the beginning of the minutes. Yep.
Okay. So can we have a motion to approve the May 8th, 2024 minutes with the addition of Ryan appointed the clerk for that meeting?
Yep. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the minutes from the May 8th, 2024 meeting as submitted, with the exception of indicating that Ryan was nominated clerk for the meeting, otherwise as submitted.
And I guess we need a second.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
All right, a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck.
I'll have to pass. I wasn't there, so.
Okay, Beth McCarthy, aye. So our next meeting, the minutes were for May 22nd, 2024. Were there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
I had two. So George was not at that meeting, right? Because I think in one section, I thought I had in my notes, we have him in one section is there, and I think another section.
Yeah, I think he was late.
Was he late?
Right.
Did he
I think
come
he was,
eventually?
yeah.
Okay, all right. I
Yep.
must have missed that. Okay, so he was there. And then on the Cedar Street item, it said that Ryan made the motion to approve that. But I was there at that, so I didn't know, did I make this? I honestly don't remember, but
You probably made the motion. I
Yeah.
just probably mistyped.
Okay, that's
So
okay.
I can fix that.
Okay.
Yep,
That was
and
all
I
I
can
had.
add on that George was late to that meeting on
Okay.
the attendance.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything or?
No, I didn't see anything.
Okay.
All right, so we need a motion.
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the minutes from the May 22nd, 2024 meeting with two edits. One to indicate that George was tardy to the meeting, and also that Wendy made the motion for the item on Cedar Street, otherwise as submitted.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Beth McCarthy, aye. So our next meetings are the July 10th and July 24th. And now we need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to adjourn today's meeting Wednesday, June 26, 2024.
Ryan Caholen, I'll second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie,
Aye.
Ryan,
Aye.
Wendy,
Aye.
and Bat, aye. So we
Terrific.
are done.
Great.
And I had to move inside because the birds were so loud.
Wow.
It
That's
was
funny.
unbelievable.
Have a
All
good
right,
4th of
guys.
July, everybody. Have fun.
Yes, happy 4th.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.